Yes, Nana, you can get started.
ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. You can start off, Brahmara.
Yes, I'll just mute everyone once so that, and then I'll have it.
Yeah.
Om Atha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ashtadashodhyayah Moksha Sannyasa Yogaha Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasasya Mahabaho Tattvamichhami Veditum Tyagasya cha Hrishikesha Prithak Keshi Nishudana. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha Tyajyam Doshavadityeke Karma Prahurmanishinaha Yajnadana Tapah Karma न त्याज्यमिति चापरे निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तमा त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञो दानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम् एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम् नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागः तामसः परिकीर्तितः दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत् स कृत्वा राजसं त्यागं नैव त्यागफलं लभेत् कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव सत्यागः सात्विको मतः न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म कुशलेनानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो मेधावी छिन्न संशयः न हि देहभृता शक्यं त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलं भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रेत्या न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित् पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम् पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम् अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता करणं च पृथक्विधं विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा दैवं चैवात्र पञ्चमम् शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यः यत् कर्म शरीरवाङ्मनोभिः कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम् आत्मानं केवलं तु यः पश्यत् कृत बुद्धित्वात् पश्यत्यकृतबुद्धित्वात् न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावो बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च त्रिधैव गुणभेदतः प्रोच्यते गुणसाङ्ख्याने यथावत् शृणुतान्यपि सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावमव्ययमीक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्.
Good, thank you. पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम् यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पं च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् नियतं सङ्गरहितम् अरागद्वेषतः कृतम् अपलप्रेप्सुना कर्म एतत् सात्विकमुच्यते यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं तद्राजसमुदाहृतम् अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषम् मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते मुक्तसङ्गो अनहंवादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः मुक्तसङ्गो अनहंवादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते रागे कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको अशुचिः हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः अयुक्तप्रकृतस्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिकोलसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणतत्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये bandham moksham cha ya vetti buddhi sa pardha sattviki yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha karyameva cha ayadhavat prajanati buddhi sa pardha rajasi adharmam dharmamiti ya manyate tamasa vrutaha sarvadhan viparitamscha buddhi sa pardha tamasi धृत्या यया धारयते मन प्राणेन्द्रिय क्रियाः योगेनाद्यभिचारिण्या योगेनाधिपिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी यया तु धर्म कामार्थान् धृत्या धारयते अर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधं शृणु मे भरतर्षभ अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे अमृतोपमं तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम् विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे अमृतोपमं परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतं यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्तं तत्राजसमुदाहृतं तत्तामसं निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्तं तत्तामसमुदाहृतं न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यथेभिः स्यात्रिभिर्गुणैः. Brahmara, can you go to the 33rd verse? I think 32nd we have covered yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just give you.
Yeah. The 32nd verse was talking of the tamasika buddhi. Adharman dharmamitiya manyate tamasa vrutaha sarvardhan viparitamscha buddhi sa padha tamasi. He will always understand the opposite. He will always understand the opposite. And that fellow is called having a tamasa buddhi. Now dhruti is being talked of. There are two more things Bhagavan will talk of before he goes to the main subject. Okay? These are also part of the main subject, but these are the attributes owing to the trigunas. That's what Bhagavan is enumerating. He has done a lot of things, a lot of characteristics he has given, the threefold division he has made. Now the last two he is making, Dhruti and Sukham, I think. Yeah, Sukham. Dhruti and Sukham. Dhruti is a resolve. You have decided to do something, you have resolved to do something, and you are equipped with the requisite nishtha, that is the resolve. Okay? You have decided all right. You are a good person, you have decided all right. But if you have some elements of alasaha, in the tamasic fellow, dushkrutinaha, alasaha is mentioned. Alasaha is what? The lazy fellow. If you allow laziness to, as though, open the front door and enter your house, you are done up. You will not have the resolve. That resolve will be disturbed. And that fellow will give you a lot of stories with which you are likely to fall and your nishtha will be disturbed. You must have the firm resolution. When you have taken a decision to do a good thing, you do that immediately. And if you have to do that continuously, continue doing that continuously. That should be the resolve. Dhrutya yaya dharayate mana pranendriya kriyaha yogena avyabhicharinya dhrutissa partha satviki. Hey Partha Arjuna, yaya, by which avyabhicharinya dhrutya, that is a dhruti which does not waver, which does not flicker. Avyabhicharini dhruti, unflinching devotion to what you have resolved to do. Mana pranendriya kriyaha, and the activities, the mind, prana, and the sense organs. Yogena, by practice. Dharayate, one sustains all these. These are because these sense organs have the knack of deluding the mind. You must ward against that. Dhrutya dharayate, one sustains. Sa dhrutihi, that dhruti is considered as sattvika dhruti, the unflinching resolve with which one sustains by practice the activities of the mind, prana, and organs of action and knowledge. That resolve is called sattvika resolve, sattvika dhruti. The classical examples for this sattvika dhruti are two. One is Vishwamitra. Huh?
Dhruva?
Not so much Dhruva. Dhruva was, he was a small boy, and Narada advised him. He has given the mantra. What is the mantra given to Dhruva?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
What is that mantra called?
Ashtakshari mantra, not Ashtakshari, sorry. Dvadashakshari mantra.
Yeah. Okay. That mantra Narada has given. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That was given to, and he stuck on to that. There was, see, he was so young. He was not influenced by the worldly tendencies to be distracted. That was his good luck. And that was his greatness also. And in the Bhagavatam, it's beautifully mentioned. Dhruva, as he keeps on chanting the mantra and trying to be that mantra kind of, Bhagavan Vishnu appears. Hey Bhakta, open your eyes. What do you want? And this Dhruva does not know who is Vishnu, who is not Vishnu. He was nonplussed. And he opened his eyes. What do you want? He did not know what he wanted. Then Bhagavan Vishnu Bhagavata says, touched his head with his finger or with his flute or whatever. Then, like it happened to Kalidasa through Kali Mata, this fellow was nicely energized. And then he went on praising Bhagavan Vishnu. That is how beautifully it is said. Because he was so immersed in the chanting of the mantra and trying to be the essence of the mantra, he forgot himself. He was nonplussed. He was dumbfounded. And one murti he has seen, whom he has not seen at all till now. And he doesn't know. He doesn't know who is that person in front of him, asking him, what do you want? That is so beautifully portrayed in the Bhagavatam. Okay. The other two are Vishwamitra and Bhagirath in that order. In that order, in the sense, the amount of troubles they have gone through to be successful ultimately with what they have decided to be. Vishwamitra decided to be what? When he tried his best to defeat Vasishtha, he failed. Then he knew this Kshatriya, astras, etc., these are useless compared to the Brahmadandam which Vasishtha was wielding. And that Brahmadandam was swallowing all the Shastras and Astras which Vishwamitra and his forces have used against Vasishtha. Then he realized. And he went on doing a lot of penance, lot of tapas. And during the lot of tapas, and Brahmadeva appears and he says, hey, I'm giving you the title of Rishi. And he was not satisfied. He wanted to be Brahmarshi. And it went on and on and on. And later on, after some more thousands of years, he was blessed with the title of Maharshi. And in between some heavenly damsels appear, and he was deluded. He spends a lot of time, more than 10 years, with Manaka, and Shakuntala was the result. And later on he realizes, what a pity, what a wasteful exercise I have undertaken. All my merit is gone. I am just a Maharshi, nothing else. Then he, with readable vigor, he starts. Then Rambha. Then he curses Rambha. When he cursed Rambha, his merit is again exhausted. And he again starts. And things like that. Very, very strenuous exercise in doing a lot of penance and tremendous resolve. In between, the Trishanku comes and he says, and he has mentioned, Vasishtha has refused to send me to the Swargaloka with my Manama Sharira. And his sons also refused. Not only that, his sons have cursed me. Vasishtha's son has cursed me to become a Rakshasa, and Trishanku comes in that garb of a Rakshasa. Vishwamitra was elated. What his opponent refused to do, he will do and teach him a lesson, that kind of a thing. Again, his merit is exhausted. This fellow is nicely sent to his own Swarga, Vishwamitra Swarga. This is called Trishanku Swarga. He was initially sent to Indraloka, and Indra simply kicks him out. And as he was falling down, he prays to Vishwamitra, hey Maharshi, protect me, I am falling down. He says, stay there, and uses all his tapasic power to create another Swarga for him. And that is called Trishanku Swarga. Some of the vegetables, some of the animals are attributed to that Vishwamitra Srushti. Like the buffalo is considered Vishwamitra Srushti. Okay, the eggplant is considered Vishwamitra Srushti, that kind of a thing, etc. That is why in rituals, some of these are not used. In no ritual, a buffalo milk is used. It is always cow's milk. And in any Pitrukaryam, etc., this kind of an eggplant is never used. These are some traditionally accepted norms. So Vishwamitra is one. And finally, Bhagirath. Bhagirath, my God, how many deities he had to pray. And every time, thousands of years. And he was an emperor. And he has some duties to perform. Niyata karmas were there. He has handed over all those things to his ministers. And he went on with the single resolve that he must do something for his Piturs who were languishing for want of the Mother Ganges flowing over their ashes. And he has resolved to bring Mother Ganges to the earth. That is how. And how many obstacles he faces. Lord Shiva simply makes Ganga disappear in his hair, in his locks of the hair. He simply locks the proud Ganga descending from the heavens. And poor man, he had to fall flat at the feet of Bhagavan Shiva and pray to him, please, for God's sake, release. Then the Rishi Jannu, that Jannu simply swallows Ganges. And again he had to pray. All those things. So for this kind of a Satvika Dhriti, these two are generally considered very good examples. Okay. Yoghena Vyapicarinya.
Would Prahlada also be considered? Prahlada.
Who?
Prahlada.
Prahlada. Prahlada, no, he was already endowed with the Vishnu Bhakti. Only thing is, he had unflinching devotion to the Lord. Every time he was thrown into some kind of difficulties, he knew the Lord will protect him.
Nanaji, can I ask you a question?
Actually, it's not Prahlada. It is Hiranyakashipu, his Dhruti. Though it is not Satvik, his Dhruti is also of a very high order. He resolved to change Prahlada for the better because he is a Daitya. He was born to Diti. Hiranyakashipu is from the Diti clan, and Prahlada is Hiranyakashipu's son. So he has resolved to make a change in the life of Prahlada. Prahlada did not make any change to his resolve. Yeah, yes, please.
Where can we get information about the like the vegetables and all you mentioned, which Vishwamitra created?
This is traditionally accepted. I don't know. I have not read any particular text like this. I think if you go to some texts which are samhitas, like Agastya Samhita, Parashara Samhita, etc. I have not read them, but this is traditionally accepted as Vishwamitra Srushti.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Yeah.
So Hiranyakashipu had a tamasic dhriti, right? Not sattvic dhriti.
Tamasic or maybe more like Rajasic.
Rajasic, okay.
Rajasic. He has resolved to be successful in his endeavor to change his son. My God, he went on kind of experimenting with Prahlada. He threw him down a mountain precipice. And this fellow keeps on coming back to the palace, chanting Narayana mantra. And then he was made to be bitten by very poisonous snakes. Again, Narayana mantra, nothing happens to him. He sent lions to pounce on him. The lions simply vanish, looking at Prahlada. He sent huge elephants to trounce him. The elephants simply fold their tails and walk away. All these things he had tried. And he has, you know what, the holy, how the holy is performed? There is a sister of Hiranyakashipu called Holika. She tells Hiranyakashipu, hey, give me the opportunity. I have got a boon from Brahmaji that fire will not burn me. I will have Prahlada in my lap and you create fire all around me. I will come out trumps, I will not be burnt. Prahlada will be burnt. But the boon Brahmaji gave her, she forgot one element of, some clause Brahmaji put. As long as you do not do any adharmika karyam, you will not be burnt by fire. She forgot about that. And having Prahlada in her lap and trying to burn him out through fire is an adharmika karyam. So the Brahmaji's, the boon has vanished. And it was a protection to Prahlada. All those things. From then on, this festival has come about, I think. I don't know the connection really. That holy festival has connection to Hiranyakashipu's sister, whose name is Holika. Okay, leave that.
Nanaji.
Yeah.
Is there a reverse dhriti where Satvika effort to do the opposite, to convert somebody from a adharmic to a dharmic? Is there any story, example?
Hiranyakashipu tried. Hiranyakashipu tried. Bhagavan Krishna tried. to drive sense into Duryodhana, but failed. Okay? In the Udyoga Parva of Mahabharata, my God, how very nicely Bhagavan Krishna has tried to convince Duryodhana of the futility of waging a war against the Pandavas, and warns him that his entire clan will be devastated. Even then, Duryodhana does not budge. Yeah, that's it. Now, Yogena Vyapacharinya Dhriti Sapada Satviki. Now, next verse, please. Now, Rajasic and Tamasic Dhritis. Yayatu Dharma Kamardhan Dhrutya Dharayate Arjuna Prasangena Phalakankshi Dhriti Sapada Rajasi. Hey Arjuna Padha. Whereas, two means, on the other hand, whereas, prasangena, according to the circumstances, whenever he is required to undertake any activity, he will say, what is there in it for me? Okay? Phala, akankshi. He is after the result of the action, the one who has a longing for the result. He will always think of the result and then undertake any activity. If the activity is not likely to be fruitful result-wise, he will not touch that activity at all. Dharma kama ardhan. Dharma kama ardhan. Ardhan means the objects that you need to obtain. Kama is the pleasurable situations in which you always love to be. Kama. Dharma is conforming to the normally accepted norms of ethical behavior, dharma. Dharma, kama, ardhan, religious merit, pleasure and security, yadha, dhrutya, by which resolve he is as though covered by that dharayate. He sustains that. Arjuna understand that to be rajasika dhruti. Whereas Arjuna, the resolve with which one has a longing for result according to the prevailing circumstances, sustains the activities for religious merit, pleasure and security. That resolve is rajasi. And you can say most of our politicians the world over, they conform to this rajasic dhriti because they keep on changing. Their postures will keep on changing. They will say, no, I did not say that. Oh, you understood like that? I did not mean it. This is what I meant. These kind of things. A lot of justification for something which went out of the way against them, they will try to make amends for that in that kind of a talk. They are turncoats. They are always after the result of that action. If assuming that the action that they will undertake with some kind of a rajasic resolve, if it does not produce the desired result, they will simply give it up. They will simply give it up and undertake doing the opposite. Okay, next verse.
Sorry, the Satvika Dhriti is for what is the purpose of the Satvika Dhriti? To control the activities of the mind? I didn't quite get that.
Satvika Dhriti, now you are equipped with what? Sadhana Chatushtayam, isn't it? You got the Nitya, Anitya, Vastu Viveka, Iha Amutra, Palabhat, Palabhoga, Viragaha, you got Mumukshutvam. For that you require Satvika Dhriti. For all that, to fructify into a blessing for you, you require the Satvika Dhriti. If it is with a Rajasika Dhriti, you will leave things midway. So it does not help you. That is why. Okay? Now, yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madame vacha navimunchati durmedha dhrutisa Pada tamasi. Navimunchati durmedha, that fellow, he does not give it up at all. Yaya Swapnam Pardharjuna Durmedha. Medha is what? Medha is the intellect. Durmedha means you very distorted intellect. The one who is thinking is improper totally. Yaya Dhritya, with whatever dhriti, that resolve, Swapnam, sleep, okay? Bhayam, fear. Shokam, sorrow. Vishadam, depression. Madam evacha, and intoxication. All these things he does not give up at all. Navi munchati, durmedha, dhritissa pada tamasi. That fellow eats better. If you come across any person like that, please, for God's sake, keep your distance, because there is a danger that he will convert you also into his style of thinking. There is a danger. So keep yourself away from the company of that kind of a person. This person and the rajasic person also. That is why satsangatve nisangatvam, it's not just for fun that Shankara Acharya has mentioned. You must have the tendency to go to places where there are people who are nobler than you. You will pick up a lot of threads from them that will be for your benefit. Whereas if you have gone to improper assemblies of people, that is why Krishna Bhagavan said, Haratir Jana Samsadi. This Jana Samsadi will generally have not so noble people. And that not so noble people, they are likely to distort your thinking, which up to that point is very proper. They will plant some kind of a vicious seed in your mind, and you will keep on brooding over that. It will take sprout and it will stay with you in the mind. It will spoil you forever. So, arati jana samsadi, adhyatma jnana nityatvam, satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam. That delusion born out of ignorance has been our real root cause for all our ills in samsara. So to get rid of that, what? That nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischala tattvam. The mind will be abiding in the object of your contemplation. Object of your contemplation is what? Kitaya, Brahmayeva, Satchitananda Swarupaha, Ahameva Tadasmi. Vedanta Vakya said, Tattvamasi, let me find out. That kind of a druda, nishchaya, that sattvika dhriti will help. And that may be upset if you proliferate to places which are avoidable to you. Arati jnana samsadi, adhyatma jnana nityatvam, tattva jnanardha darshanam. Etad jnanamiti proktam, ajnanam yadato anyatha. In the 13th chapter. Okay? So, yaya, swapnam, bhayam, shokam.
Isn't he a suhrit also, a person who's on this path? He wants the good of all and he wants to make a difference. So,
Who? No, your audio is very weak.
Is it, Nana? Can you hear me
now it is okay.
Okay. He is also suhrit. He means well for everybody.
Who?
So, which means the jnani or the person who has a sattvika dhriti, he means well for everyone. So, with that in mind, to make a difference to these people who are not so on the path, not so established, like the tamasic and the rajasic dhriti, keeping his resolve firm, he can make a difference to them, isn't it? Otherwise,
he can't. He can't make. You can't change the mind of a person. See, when you want to make a difference, your intention is very noble. But the mind of that person has got a lot of pratibandhakas, which have been kind of earned by him through his Anantakoti Janmas earlier. That samskara janita, that Antakarana, you can't change. You can't change. Krishna Bhagavan could not instill the sense of proper thinking in Duryodhana. You know, when Krishna Bhagavan went to the court of Dhritarashtra in the Udyoga Parva, you know how many others uninvited by Krishna Bhagavan have come there? Lord Parshurama came there. Rishi Maitreya come there. He has come there. Narada came there. Yamadagni came there. Yamadagni, who was dead and gone. That preta, that subtle body has come there. And all those people have talked to Duryodhana. They have given a lot of strength and support to Krishna Bhagavan's pleading of Duryodhana to be friendly with the Pandavas. He tells Duryodhana, hey Duryodhana, you and your brothers are like the forest. Pandavas are like the tigers. The forest must have tigers. And forest must have big, big trees like you. Without trees, there is no forest. And without tigers, there are no trees. Because all those trees will be mauled by the other animals like deer and things like that. So with fear of tigers, the deer and the other animals will keep away from spoiling the plants. And he gives them beautiful examples. That fellow, it all fell on deaf ears. Not only that, he goes to the extent of imprisoning Bhagavan Krishna in the royal court. He, Dushasana, Karna, Shakuni, they plan to imprison him. That kind of Durmeda, you can't change a person.
But there were cases where people changed, transformed. Like, for instance, Valmiki, he was in his Purva.
He had this. He had this.
So
No. He had this.
There was
Listen,
transformation.
he had the seed in his mind, which potentially was permitting a change. He was convinced by Narada and other rishis that what he was doing is wrong. And he has resolved to make a difference to his life, to turn a new leaf in his life. That required a dhruti, which is apparently sattvika. So you can advise a person, like the proverb is, you can take the horse to the pond, but you can't have the horse drink the water.
So coming to that, that makes some point, isn't it? So we try to make a difference to people. If they change, they change. Otherwise, you let them be. But that wanting to make a difference, so that people around you that are in your.
Okay, but Jnani's pursuit is not just that. Jnani will have
while
to,
pursuing his thing, he can make a difference and make a difference to people around. His pursuit, of course, is Jnana Samuparjana.
Yes. It depends on the context in which you are saying what all these. If you come across a set of people who are likely to be harmful to society, then if you are thrown into their midst, maybe you will then try to change. But on your own, you don't have that as a mission in your life.
In the heart of everybody is Bhagavan, whether you are a dharmic or adharmic person.
Very right.
So isn't that the seed in everyone? And in that case, when even Bhagavan could not change Duryodhana, so isn't that also Bhagavan's action?
See, look at it this way. Scientifically speaking, all elements, the 92 elements or so, all of them have got the same atom in them. Is it not? Same atom in the sense the nucleus contains neutrons, protons, and electrons, and those are universally the same. The number of these particles may differ from element to element, but essentially these particles are the same. Even though it is like that, a piece of iron, it is very, very difficult to convert that into a piece of gold. Though scientifically it is possible, technologically it is possible, but it is fraught with a lot of expenditure, spending of a lot of time, energy, which will be a wasteful pursuit. Understand?
Anna,
Yes.
Yes. Bhagwan is, sorry to interrupt. Bhagwan is giving us all these dhritis, karta, karma, danam, all of this. He's categorizing them as sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic. Isn't it for us to upgrade, recalibrate ourselves? That is what you had mentioned a few days back.
Correct.
We have to recalibrate. So that means
that is to be done by the individuals.
Yeah, there's a possibility of change, isn't
Yes.
it? So everybody
Yes.
has that capacity to convert from iron to gold. It's
Correct.
only that you have to put your dhriti there, and you have to have that shraddha and that the resolve to continue to upgrade yourself.
Correct.
So like you have that capacity, everybody else around that you want to change may also have that capacity. So it's giving that capacity a chance.
No, the will to change must originate in the individual.
Correct. That will to change, only when that comes, only they will change. Of course, yes. But you as a suhrat, meaning well-meaning for everyone, it is not just for your benefit that you're here. You are also there to share this joy, this wisdom. That is how all the rishis have brought so much of wisdom. Otherwise, they would have kept it for themselves. Why did they share it with their students?
No, they have been sharing, but when they wanted to share, the number of people who are willing to share that is very, very small. And this Rajasic and Tamasic Dhriti people, they have never gone anywhere near the rishis. They have never gone anywhere near that. Why all that in the Mahabharata? Drupada, okay, the prince of that country, the Punjab, and Dronacharya, they have been classmates under the same guru. And Drupada has promised Dronacharya, hey, don't worry, whenever after I become a king, I will give you half my kingdom any time you walk in and ask me for any favor. I will embrace you and do the best I can. And after indeed he has become a king, he has changed completely. When the Dronacharya went there, he said, there is a capacity that is required even in the Ardhadhi. You have come as an Ardhadhi. What is your qualification? I deal with people of my caliber. You go away. What I'm saying is, he was a Sahajyayi under the same guru, and he on his own promised Dronacharya this, and later on he went back on his word. People are like that. You can't change them.
I want to add something. Sorry.
And after, listen, and after Dronacharya took revenge and through Arjuna and the Pandavas had Drupada thrown at his feet, Dronacharya, you know what he did? Hey, Drupada, now your entire kingdom is mine, but I take pity on you. I understand what you said during the Gurukula Vasa. You said half of your kingdom you will give me. Now I will give you half of your kingdom. You take the other half, I will rule this second half. And he makes his son Ashwadhama the king for the second half of the kingdom. What I'm saying is, these two Sahajyayis, they had different dispositions mind-wise. You can't change the mind. Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata. Sattvanurupa, in accordance with the sattva with which you are born, and what you are born with has been acquired by you over so many janmas. You have developed a lot of samskara, and with that samskara you are born, and the samskara is carried in your mind. It is not an easy thing to change that. Yeah.
So that is why Bhagavan Krishna, this is my understanding, says that you have to first engage in karma, do your swadharma, do all that, and do service to humanity. So that will probably bring the grace for the change in the other person?
Might. One thing is, you must drive in your mind some viveka buddhi. You must understand what is proper, what is improper, what is beneficial to you, what is harmful to you. You must be convinced of that. And when you are convinced of that, then these dhriti and other things will come in. This kind of a resolve, this kind of a nishtha to take you forward on the correct path. If you are not convinced about it, all these are of no avail to you. Bhagavan Krishna has been mentioning this for us to judge where we belong, and we must make a beginning to improve. That was the intention of Bhagavan mentioning all this.
Yeah.
Nanaji, is it also not dependent on the antakarna shuddhi of the person?
It is. It is, certainly.
So the knowledge may be there, but he is still not in that state to implement that knowledge.
No. If the knowledge is there, that means what? Antakarna is very, very pure.
No, I mean, intellectually the knowledge is there.
He's got some paroksha jnana.
Correct, yeah.
That has not percolated into his being.
Correct.
And he's not started living the diktats of the jnana at all. So it is an information to him.
But Nanaji, is that also not to a large extent based on his prarabdha karma?
It is and it is not.
Okay.
Because prarabdha karma wise you have taken this kind of a birth, and you are born to a set of parents, and you have a set of siblings. All this is because of prarabdha karma. But after that, you have been seeing around you a lot of good and a lot of bad. What have you picked up? Did you want to pick up what is good, and that becomes the purushartha? You can't blame entirely everything on prarabdha. Your purushartha is there. Your free will is there. With that free will, are you exercising your free will for your benefit or no? If it is yes, then the jnana which you said, it is being helpful to you. Otherwise, the jnana remains a bit of information only.
Dhanyavada, Nanaji. Very insightful.
Hari Om Nanaji.
Yes.
The vasanas and sanskara, are they same or opposite to each other, Nanaji?
Same.
Okay. So they can be positive as well as negative, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Dhanyavad, Nanaji.
I also want to add one point, like it is very hard even to change ourselves, changing others is like, further harder. So when we see ourselves upgrading ourselves is very difficult, then how can we change others? So we can just give some ideas and some, but we can't change.
Very nice point. Very well said. I'll tell you, our Guruji used to give us a story. This samskara, how it happens. He had 2 sons. And the elder son is a very, very noble fellow. Okay? And he does a lot of puja, punaskara, etc. And he is God-fearing. And he used to respect all elders very nicely. And he and his younger brother, they were put in the same school. This fellow, that person, who is very noble, he, time and again, he fell sick. Because of that, after a couple of years, both these brothers, separated by some 2 years in span, age-wise, they happened to be in the same class. Some 10th standard or so, whatever that has come. And this fellow, who is a very pious fellow, he has studied very nicely. And he used to go. On way to the school, there was a temple. And in that temple, he used to pray to the Lord, Thanksgiving, that kind of a thing, and go to the school every day. On the day of the exam also, he has done the same thing. Now the other fellow, he is an ignoble fellow and always given to a lot of play, lot of, cultivating a lot of bad, friends, things like that. That fellow also, he went to give the exam. These fellows, when the elder fellow went to the temple, he was that day bitten by a scorpion. And he, writhing in pain, he somehow went to the exam hall and he gave the exam, etc. He somehow managed to pass the exam with the minimum marks that are required to be declared as a successfully passed. The other fellow, he was simply whistling to himself and he went to the school. On the way, what happened? He happened to find a big bag of gold coins. He picked it up and he was in extremely high spirits and he was very joyous. And in that joyous mood, what little he knew, little he picked up through hearing to the teachers, etc., because he hardly studied anything, he could do the exam and he also passed. And he passed with better marks than his elder brother. Then this father of these boys, he was surprised. He consulted a pandit who knew the palmistry, astrology, etc., all those. Then the pandit has analyzed and he said, you know what? This younger fellow, he was very, very lucky. He was to be the prince of this land, but because of his bad conduct in this life, that all that punya is exhausted and he has picked up just a bag of gold coins. Whereas the other fellow, he was a very cruel fellow in his previous birth. And because of his noble conduct and because of his pious pursuit in life, he has earned a lot of punya. The day when he was bitten by a scorpion in the temple, he was to be bitten by a vicious snake and he was to die. And because of the punya that he has amassed, it went away with only a scorpion bite. This is how it is. The samskara. Two brothers born to the same parents. They have walked into that house with the differing samskaras. And that manifested in this way for both of them. This used to be a story which our Guruji used to often narrate to drive home the point regarding the samskaras, the vasanas. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madame vacha na vimunchati durmedha dhritissa pada tamasi. That tamasi below. Yeah, I thought we will go to the 40th verse today, but somehow we
lot of
not.
questions.
Okay. No
Nana,
problem.
What is it that brings in this free will? What is it? Is it samskaras? Is it what determines the free will, the purushartha that a person has? There are people who have free will.
Your intellect.
Huh?
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. If you develop a proper way of thinking, what is good for you, what is bad for you, and what is beneficial, what is likely to pull you down, and based on that, you decide a course of action that will be based on the Nischayatmika Buddhi. If you keep on, thinking of various combinations for a particular work and do nothing at all, that is Avyapasayatmika Buddhi. That will not help. Purushartha will be driven by that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, a proper thinking and willingness to listen to a sound advice given by elders and teachers. That willingness can be driven in your mind by yourself.
I think that is Viveka.
That is Viveka. That is by
That is important.
approach to living life. That is why from the Puranas, so many classical stories have been mentioned. You are required to take them as the exemplars and make an effort to walk the way they have led their life. That is Purushartha. Purushartha everybody has. People don't use that. People simply waste away. Right?
It comes by grace also, no, Nanaji? By grace, the divine grace.
Yeah, Purushartha, see, you decide about doing a thing, okay? And you pray to the Lord. Please give me the wherewithal to continue doing prayers to you. Yeah, that the grace will come. I agree with you. But the resolve must be there to start with.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we're on 35. Tomorrow, Brahmara.
Yes, Nana.
You please chant 25 verses. I will chant the next 25. Okay. We will go beyond the 40 and try to step into the 41st verse or so. Let us see.
Fine.
Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madamevacha na vimunchati durmedha dhritissa padda tamasi. See, we have been seeing in the same family, two sets of children, they behave differently. Born to the same parents. Parents have not made any difference in bringing them up. Because it's not possible for the parents to adopt different yardsticks in bringing up the children. They love both of them equally well, but their pursuits will be different. It is because of the samskara with which they were born. It is because of the seed in them. And the seed keeps on sprouting as the boy or girl keep on growing. That's it. All right. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 He. Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om, Nana.
Hari Om, Nanaji. Dhanyawada.
Hari Om, Nanaji.